This person says, I was chatting with my friend in the bathroom and started swinging the next door over, just swinging the stall door, like kind of absent-mindedly while they were talking. This goes on for about 30 seconds. They're deep in conversation until I realize there was somebody in that stall. There was somebody in that stall who hadn't said a word. Welcome to the Rom-Com Rewind Podcast.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Devin.
And like you, I love rewatching movies over and over again.
You're here, you found us, you made it to us. You love romantic comedies, we do as well.
So this is a show where we rewatch rom-coms, break them down a bit for you, maybe take a peek behind the curtain, dig beneath the surface, and decide, does it still hold up?
Today we have 2 weeks notice. And wherever you're listening to us, please throw us a follow. I mean, most importantly, you can follow us on Instagram at Romcom Rewind. That's where a lot of the conversations around the pod kind of continue on. And if there's anything you ever want to reach out and talk to us about, you can do that on our Instagram account.
We have a message from Charlotte. She says, "Hi guys, absolutely love the pod, probably listen to it every day. I would love it if you could go over Down with Love or the new Anyone But You. Loved that movie. But my absolute favorite has to be When Harry Met Sally."
When Harry Met Sally, absolute all-timer.
Yes.
Anyone But You, though?
We have had
so many
requests for this movie. We've heard pretty good things about it, and it is on our list for us to do. It is there. We will get to it. It was in theaters, so we're hoping it comes to streaming soon, or if not, we can get into a theater.
Maybe we can make it to a theater.
That would be nice.
Crazy thing for your podcast about movies. Maybe we'll go see one. We had a traumatizing experience the last time we went. We went to go see the Barbie movie.
Oh, yes.
And like 80% of the way into the movie, the power went out and they couldn't get it back on. And they were like, we're trying to restart the movie from the beginning. We're like, Jesus, that's going to be like 4.5 hours of Barbie.
Guys, we've never seen the ending to Barbie.
We still haven't seen the ending to Barbie. Billie Eilish, beautiful song. We've heard the song.
Yeah.
And we understand the moment, but no.
And we get the ending, but we just have not actually seen it with our own 4 eyes.
And actually, it was an iconic moment that we saw the last of, which was when Barbie had gone back to, at the time it was Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa House. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, I'd love to go on a date with you. And then Ryan Gosling goes back like behind some doors and he's like, sublime. And then it cuts out.
Yeah. It was definitely an exuberant ending to the movie for us. Anyway.
Yes. And then just all pitch black. We're like, is this part of the movie?
Yeah. Oh my God. Then half an hour to 45 minutes went by and we're like, oh, I don't think so. So yes.
And to be fair, like we had a bad time. I feel bad for the people who are watching Oppenheimer and who are 80% of the way through that. That's a much longer movie to have to rewatch from the beginning. So, 2 weeks notice, however, is a 2002 romantic comedy directed by Mark Lawrence, who you also know from Miss Congeniality. Did You Hear About the Morgans? Noelle. So a few moments with Sandra Bullock and Hugh Grant, but this is where they come together. This is the story of Lucy Kelson, played by Sandra Bullock. Lucy is a lawyer in New York City who has a strong moral compass regarding things like environmental law, historic preservation, pro bono causes. Then we have George Wade, played by Hugh Grant, and he is your classic billionaire real estate developer. He's a charming womanizer, playboy person, and his business is kind of in an ongoing clash with Lucy over the destruction of the Coney Island Community Center, which they want to make into, I want to say, condos. George Wade, however, is in need of a chief counsel, and for him, Lucy kind of, not only is she an extremely talented lawyer, she just answers all the questions he has in his life. He reminds me of
he does.
Like he's made out to be this like extremely wealthy and successful business person. Guy can't make a decision to save his life though.
No, and then like requires her to do it.
Yeah.
She almost becomes an executive assistant, not a lawyer.
She is a little bit of both. Like he really hires her because one, he needs a lawyer, but two, he needs her to make decisions for him. And obviously when two beautiful, charming people spend that much time around each other, maybe some love sizzles to the surface. That's your lead-in for 2 weeks notice.
Meet Lucy Kelson.
Hey, that's my coffee, you jerk!
Oh, sir, I'm so sorry. See, I thought you were needy.
she has a law degree from Harvard.
You're my brilliant chief counsel who's always honest with me.
Well, then, honestly, I think you are the most selfish human being on the planet.
Well, that's just silly. Have you met everyone on the planet?
And an eccentric billionaire boss
Congratulations on the baby.
What baby? Maybe you should check with me before you talk. What baby?
who's driving her to the edge.
Hello?
I just felt like a bit of a chitter-chat.
You are pathetic.
This holiday season, the only way to get noticed
I'm not here to pick out a wife or to pick out your clothes. Oh, sorry.
is to give notice.
Consider this my 2 weeks' notice.
What are your thoughts? Why do you always need me to
Because
ask?
I always
what are
like
your
that. Because I like it. I like when you ask me that, and then it's like my cue to like tell everybody what my thoughts are. Why do I love this movie so much?
Can I give you a little peek behind the curtain of the Rom-Com Rewind podcast that clearly Sarah doesn't even know herself?
Uh-oh.
It's that in that moment, I go back in and I add the trailer to the movie. So
Oh.
you come right off the trailer, which is why I don't like, you're just
Do
going
you
to
ever put what are your thoughts in the actual...
I do. But also it's like, it's a little implied at this point. Like,
We never know. Somebody might jump in at 2 weeks' notice to start us off. Like, who knows?
oh, God. Hey, what are your thoughts?
Okay,
How do you feel about
like
it?
I said, why do I love this movie so much? This
tell-
movie was
tell
so
us.
good.
Okay.
I can't remember whether I've actually seen this movie or this was my first time. I feel like I've heard this movie talked about quite a bit. So I'm actually thinking that this might have been the first time I've seen the full movie. I think I've seen bits and like pieces of it, but this is the first time I've seen this entire movie. And man, do I love it. I realize that this movie doesn't actually have almost no montage in the whole movie. They do everything. They play everything out. And I've realized that when a movie plays montages, it takes away from my thorough, full enjoyment of what activities they could fully do.
Sorry, do we not like montages
I love
now?
montages.
Okay,
Don't
I
get
just
me
wanna
wrong.
Make sure.
It plays things through. It speeds things up. It shows, you know, what am I going to wear on this date, or what am I going to look like at the end of this makeover?
What are the options I could wear on the
Right?
date?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It shows me that. I love it. You know, 27 dresses. Let's go through the 27 dresses. But for this movie, we played every activity or instance or scene through. Like, I knew everything that happened with their relationship, like the mattress she chose for him, the ties, the personal shopping when she went with him. Like, I knew it all and I loved it all.
Can I share a little secret with our about our girl Sarah?
Oh, there's just lots of sharing. I'm just really intrigued as to what this is.
Sarah's love language
Oh,
is quality time.
It is.
Spending
It
time
is.
together. So
Yes.
it should be no surprise that you're like, I just want to see every moment
love it so
they
much.
ever spent together.
oh my God. But I found like this movie to be such an adventure.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You know what? Sandra Bullock, Hugh Grant, great actors. I did find they had really good chemistry together. It was a fun movie. I laughed. Some of it was funny. Some of it was emotional. You know, it touched my heart. I liked it.
I agree mostly with everything you said. It's a really fun, feel-good story. I find it's very typical of the early 2000s. I feel like we had such great, fresh, easy concepts for movies back then. It was just so simple. Nowadays, it's like, is it a remake of something? Is it a retelling of something? Is it a novel that somebody already wrote
Right.
and we're just going to make it into a thing? This is like, from what I could tell, just quickly researching, this isn't a remake or a retelling of anything. It's literally a story of like, lawyer meets billionaire. They don't like each other, but then they work with each other. Now they like each other, but she wants to quit.
So 2 weeks notice.
That's it. That's the whole story. And it was still very captivating, and it was very funny, and it kind of hits a lot of the beats that you're expecting it to hit. But it was really enjoyable. I will say, tiny bit of rose-colored glasses. I remember watching this thinking it was the greatest movie ever back in the 2000s, and now I'm like, okay, like it's a good 2000s movie.
It is a good 2000s movie.
Like, this is solid. There's nothing wrong with it. I did look it up on Rotten Tomatoes. did not score amazingly well, which I was surprised by.
I am surprised. What's the score?
It was in the...
Yeah, you could just say in the...
59% audience score.
Oh, wow.
42% tomato meter. But here's the thing. I think it's still rose-colored glasses because people are still reviewing it even to this day. I'm sure if we went back to 2002, it was probably reviewed a lot better because I feel like it was of that era where it's like, yeah, this is a good, solid romantic comedy.
It was a good time for rom-coms too.
Oh,
and
this was the mecca of rom-coms.
Like I think something, and we've talked about this really till we're red in the face, but I like rom-coms that have, you know, people who we don't know and they're like rising stars and they're kind of starting from the bottom. Now we're here. And I also love though when they put together a good rom-com. Let me just clarify that. With big stars, you know, like I think 2002, Hugh Grant and Sandra Bullock were both big stars. They were
absolutely big stars at that point. This movie made $200 million worldwide at the box office.
That's a lot of money.
Against a budget of $60 million. So the studio loves that. It opened number 2 behind Lord of the Rings.
Okay, well, you can't release the same weekend as Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, you're not gonna beat Lord
go
of
anywhere.
Rings. But still, like this was a big movie when it came out, and rewatching it is interesting because I think it is still a really great movie. Anyway, that's my piece.
We first meet Lucy as a protester in front of an old theater with 2 of her friends. They're about to bulldoze it. She's hanging on to the rope of the bulldozer. Yeah, I guess that's the machinery. Hoping that they won't do it, standing in front of it until she's arrested. Her 2 friends end up getting engaged while they're protesting. And they're lying on their yoga mats. She eventually is arrested and brought to jail with her 2 friends. She's bailed out by her parents, who are also lawyers. And we see that the Wade Corporation is the bad guy in this, and that he is going to, the Wade Company is going to be buying Lucy's community center where she lives. And she is appalled.
Shout out to Heather Burns, who's in this. She's obviously also in Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock.
Both, yes.
One of the most iconic rom-com lines of all time.
I was going to bring it up, but yeah.
Not in this movie, but in movies in general. What's your favorite date? God.
What is it, April 25th?
Because
not
it's
too hot, not too cold.
All you need is a light jacket.
All you need is a light jacket.
And then William Shatner as the host, just like, okay.
Oh my goodness. It is perfect. Like that is on par, I think, with movie lines like You Go Glen Coco. That's so fetch. Like it is a line that I you know, Justin Timberlake, It's Gonna Be May. Like it's
Mom, the meatloaf. You know, like
it is on par with a lot of those, you know, go-to quotes from movies.
Will Ferrell. Yeah, that is absolutely up there.
I'm in a glass case of emotion. Like, right, you know.
Put your perfect date on there as well. Heather Burns crushes it.
So Lucy gets home and we hear a voicemail from a guy named Ansel. We kind of determine that this is Lucy's boyfriend who she doesn't see a lot. Then she orders a ton of Chinese food for 1. And this is great because this is so similar to the same movie that she plays While You Were Sleeping. Because she also orders a ton of Chinese food in that movie too. I just found the parallels because it's both Sandra Bullock.
This was also a very funny, like, recurring joke where I think she orders it like 3 times total.
Yeah, full circle moment. I love those.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like, because every time she orders it, they ask, is it for 1? Yes, it's for 1. And then at the end of the movie,
finally,
it's
surprise.
for 2.
It's not for 1.
We then get to meet the bad guy, George Wade. He is getting a Man of the Year for a medical center. George gets called away from the event to go see Howard, his brother, who basically runs the company, but George is the face of Wade Corporation. Turns out they lost the Waterfront Community Center. Howard wants him to hire someone who is actually a lawyer and not someone who is just sleeping with him and got their law degree online. Lucy goes to Wade's office to try and confront him about the community center that he wants to bulldoze down, obviously not knowing that they lost it. But this is the same day that he's supposed to hire an actual lawyer. He starts talking to her and asks where she went to school. She goes to Harvard, or she went to Harvard, and he realizes who she is and that she's the girl who always lies in front of the wrecking balls.
Yes, and somebody like jumps in midway through to interview him to ask him questions about, you know, community and stuff like that. And she starts like kind of feeding him the answers to the point where he's like, wow, like you really, gosh, you're good at this. You're a Harvard lawyer. I want to hire you.
Yeah, he tells Lucy that if she becomes the new chief counsel for Wade Corporation, he'll save the community center and can direct all their pro bono efforts to her, and she can do a whole bunch of cases pro bono if she'd like. And her starting salary is $250,000 a year.
Check, please. Listen,
sign me up.
I have
right
morals,
away.
But there's no way you're turning that down. No,
Well,
absolutely
and
not.
it saves what she wants, right? She goes to the community center after, and she knows she has to take the job to save it.
It's a win-win, baby, so we think.
Lucy does take the job, obviously, and it must be a little while since she's been there. And her and George, or I guess she goes up to George to ask him to review something with her, and instead he asks her which choice to make for his new stationery.
Okay, I've got a question.
This is hilarious.
How long do you think, how much time do you think elapsed?
Over the whole movie?
No, just in these two scenes.
I would say like 1 to 2 months.
I was going to say, like, I was trying to place it because we have, like, she's hired, and then the next scene we see, she's picking out stationery.
Yeah.
And she's like, ooh, that's cream, and this one's what, like, she just...
Yeah, I think in my these are my thoughts, because I was trying to see how long the whole movie was, but I think it's probably about a year.
Okay, total.
Yeah, I think so. This is definitely, she even like specifically says it. This is definitely not recyclable paper for us for this. She's like, is this a real question? Because
Is this a trick question? Because they look exactly the same to me.
No, not at all. No, this is a linen finish, and this is a watermark vellum finish.
Oh, okay. Well, leaving aside the fact that they've taken perfectly good force and denuded them in order to produce this non-recyclable paper, I would say it was... this one tastes better.
But then she gives such a thoughtful answer because
Yes.
then she licks both and decides, well, this one tastes better, and you're going to be licking like a bunch of
yes!
envelopes. So
And he goes, oh my God, I've asked 30 people this same question and you're the only one to give me an answer. Probably because he scares everybody and nobody wants to actually give him an answer that he doesn't want.
But it's almost like she understands the riddle of questions, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's thinking outside the box. It's not about the color. It's about that you're going to lick 1 million of
Practicality,
these. Yes,
right? The practicality of it all,
exactly.
not how it looks. And I think, to be honest, I think she's really good for him because I think everybody else dances around him and tries to cater to his needs when she, in her mind, is like, I need this guy out of my line of sight and to stop bothering me for the day. So if I answer his questions, he'll GTFO, you know?
What is the most efficient way to edit this
Yes.
conversation? She is kind of
Practicality.
abrasive throughout this movie too.
I love
find.
it.
She does play like the abrasive. Abrasive maybe isn't right. I'm just thinking about her in The Proposal. Like she does play.
She's a badass bitch.
Sure. There we go.
Badass boss bitch.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's exactly what she is.
Okay, this next scene is my best scene. It's the mattress scene. He seems to begin to ask her all of these questions, and you kind of get the feeling, yeah, she's chief counsel, but also, side note, she's the executive assistant for him, or like personal assistant. Wants to chat with her all the time. They go mattress shopping together. He calls her while he's out at the bar with another woman who is not the smartest or not the sharpest pencil in the drawer. And Lucy calls at like 2 a.m. for a he calls Lucy at 2 a.m. for the conversation. She even talks to the girl that he's talking to at the bar and gets her to leave. Like this, like whole, like from the mattress scene to the end of the bar scene is perfect and hilarious. And it's practical in Lucy's mind to get you off the phone at 2 a.m. How do I get it? Tell the girl that he has a rash. Like that is just, yeah, I wouldn't want to go home with him either.
I've got a question for you. It's 2002.
Yeah.
Do you think Hugh Grant at this point in time, at that point in time, is like top 10 most charming British actors?
Yes.
Yes, without a doubt, right?
Yes.
Do you think he's... I'm saying this because I have
Oh.
a poll from literally a couple weeks ago. February 1st,
No way.
somebody did a poll of the most charming British actors right now.
Currently. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh God.
He's not on the list right
I was
now.
going to say, why do you do this to me?
Who do you think is on the list?
Is Jude Law still on there?
No.
I was going to say he's probably not on there, but he definitely would have been in 2002.
But one of his co-stars in The Fantastic Beasts is on here.
Oh my God, why can't I? Eddie
Yes,
Redmayne?
Eddie Redmayne is
Yeah.
number 8 on the list.
Okay. Number 8 out of 10?
Out of 10, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh my God.
Like, there's such...
Idris Elba?
Yes, Idris Elba. I was going to say, low-hanging fruit here, Sarah. Idris Elba's number 4. So, all of these guys, you know.
I know, but I just, when you ask me these things...
Many of them
I
you
can
swoon
never-
over. Many of them,
obviously.
they're shows you watch.
Tom Hardy.
Yes, number 10 on the list. I thought
No!
I thought he'd be higher.
Oh my God, he is definitely higher than Eddie
Deserves to
Redmayne
be
for
higher.
me. Abso-freaking-lutely. Oh, yes.
There's 2 Marvel guys, 2 Game of Thrones guys.
Okay, 2 Marvel guys.
A DC hero, like a Justice League hero.
Oh, I didn't watch Justice League.
Well, you watched one of them with him. You watched a few of them with him, probably.
Really?
Yes, I'm sure we've watched it together.
Okay, so Marvel.
Anyway, yeah, focus on the Marvel. That's the easy one to get.
Yes.
2.
British. Oh,
Yes.
Tom Holland?
No, he's not on the list, unfortunately.
I mean, I don't know if I would see him on the list. Like, he's a little too young for me to swoon. Okay, just give me a few.
You got the first name.
Tom. Oh, Hiddleston.
Yes. That's
Hiddleston? Is it Hiddleston or Hiddleston?
Hiddleston, number 1 answer off the board, Tom Hiddleston.
Yes, he deserves to be at number 1.
Another British actor.
British actor.
He has an American accent in the Marvel universe, but like he's known to be British.
Is it Hawkeye?
No, he's not British.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I'm just trying.
I also love how every time somebody says Hawkeye, it sounds like hot guy. Like it did sound like hot guy when you said it.
Okay.
Benedict Cumberbatch is the number 2 answer off the board. Yeah, I know. It's kind of surprising.
You know what? He's not attractive to me, but I'm sure he's attractive to other people. He's just not my jam.
I'll give you 2 more. Henry Cavill, The Witcher.
Oh, you know what?
Superman.
I always forget that he is British.
I don't know if he's even acted British.
Yeah,
I think in a few movies he's
it's like
acted
Margot
British.
Robbie, right? She mostly acts, and she's come out in an interview most recently saying this. Like she forgets how to act in her own like Australian accent because she acts so much in an American accent that she hasn't even. I mean, I know she's not British, but like Australian, right? Like she acts in other accents that she hasn't done it in a long time.
I'll also take David Beckham off the board because I don't think he belongs on here. He's not really an actor. Kate,
No, he's not an actor at all. What was he in? His own TV show and Bend It Like Beckham for like 2 seconds?
They had a Beckham documentary, but yeah.
Yeah.
Couple Game of Thrones characters or actors, I should say.
Oh God, there's like a billion of them, like actors.
Literally, but they're like, we're not talking about the random guy who gets stabbed in episode 2.
Who plays Jon Snow?
Jon Snow.
Oh my God, why can't I think of his name right now?
Jon Snow. That's Kit Harington.
Yes, Kit Harington.
Number
and then,
9 on the list.
Okay. And who plays his brother that gets killed at the Red Wedding?
You're
can't
exactly
think of his
right,
name.
Sarah.
I know.
You're exactly right.
I can't think of his name
He's
right now.
also in the Marvel universe, but you wouldn't have remembered him from that.
No, I wouldn't have. But what's his name?
Richard Madden.
I never would have gotten that because he does look like a Richard when you say it, but I don't think of his name as Richard.
And the final one, I mean, it's easy when I give you the clue, but he's a James Bond.
Oh, Daniel Craig?
Daniel Craig. Boom. So it sounds like the people we don't think belong on this list are Benedict Cumberbatch. No
Unfortunately.
offense.
No, it's not that I don't think he doesn't belong on it. I think he's further down the list. Like I would put Tom Hardy higher.
Okay, Tom Hardy higher. Who else higher?
I would put
David Beckham can leave the list.
Yeah, David Beckham can leave the list. I would put Richard Madden higher.
Okay.
What's Kit?
Oh, really? Kit Harington's 9.
Yeah, absolutely higher.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I personally would probably reshuffle them.
What about Eddie Redmayne?
Where is he? 7?
He was 8.
8, like 8, 9.
Okay, yeah.
Like I think that's
properly
probably
rated.
Yeah, he's probably rated properly, but he's higher than Tom Hardy. That's a shame.
But I feel like back in 2002, Hugh Grant would probably be a top 5.
Yeah,
you know,
and
he was
Jude Law for sure, right? Like that TikTok went around at Christmas where like everybody had the holiday on and like he looks with his glasses and everybody's like swooning over. I'm like, oh my God, me? You're looking at me?
Jude.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Part of Lucy being hired as chief counsel was that she would also take care of George's divorce.
Your
best scene? Okay.
How could it not be a best scene?
I know.
So it's the mediation scene is what I think's actually going on here.
So good. Yes.
The only thing that makes this scene iconic is the fact that like the mediation's happening, whatever. Lucy's being like a little bit snarky. She's genuinely like the smartest person in the room.
Definitely.
And she kind of wields it in the dorkiest way. But she gets water thrown at her. And it's her reaction to getting water thrown at her where she like reels away. She's like, oh my God, it's in my eyes. Like she's freaking out. Yeah. I've seen that reposted as a TikTok so many times.
Really?
Yes.
I've never seen it.
Because it's the most ridiculous reaction. Like, it's water. You're acting like it's battery acid or like
or
red wine.
Yeah, I was going to say, or even like getting like bugs poured on you or something. That is the reaction you expect when you get bugs poured on you.
And Hugh Grant's there like consoling her like, oh my God, are you okay? It's like, this is a lot right now.
It's a little too much. We are at Lucy's friend's wedding. They're getting married, and in the middle of the ceremony, Lucy's phone goes off, and it's George texting her saying, emergency. So she runs off the altar in the middle of the ceremony for the wedding. She gets to the Grand Hotel where he lives for the big emergency, and it's for her to help him pick his clothes for the night to vote. He's voting. He's a voter. No, oh my gosh. He is like a person who is on the panel to vote for Miss America, for the Miss America contest. Side note, everyone at the hotel knows who Lucy is because she's basically now his personal assistant, like I mentioned. Clearly, he relies on her way too much. Lucy then says, in this moment, this is the big 2 weeks notice piece. She gives him her 2 weeks notice.
You know, tonight is important. I'm representing the Wade organization. That includes you.
Not anymore, George.
Sorry?
You got Island Towers, I got Coney Island. Why don't we just call it quits, okay? I can't take it anymore.
What, are you serious?
Yes. Please consider this my 2 weeks notice.
Do you feel like it was a little abrupt? Like,
no. No.
I remembering the movie, I thought the 2 weeks notice moment happened way later. I'm like, oh my God, we're already at the 2 weeks notice thing. Side note though, he has this closet where the suits go
it's Clueless.
Left to right. And yes,
it's Clueless.
Coolest thing.
Always.
Ever.
I want that.
Wait, doesn't everybody want it? I've never seen it practically done. But who doesn't want that?
I will say though, I don't want the chore of having to put everything on a hanger. So like I would like to hire a hanger.
I was going to say, one would think you have somebody to do that for you.
The money that I have.
It's probably Lucy who's going to be doing that for you, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was a perfect time to give her 2 weeks because this was in the middle of her best friend's wedding and she was pulled out of it because she genuinely thought there was an emergency happening and it was to pick his clothing for the night. I don't know. I thought it was perfect. She figures it's time because she's got the community center and he got the development that he wanted beside it. And he is absolutely devastated and tells her, you know, why don't you think about it? You don't have to make a decision right now. And I can't make decisions without you. You need to stay. Like you can't leave. Lucy goes for other interviews at other law firms and they refuse to hire her because George has called them all, telling them that she's indispensable and that they can't hire her because he wants to keep her. Like, what?
Hilarious.
Oh my God.
It's that ridiculous energy that can only happen in a rom-com, you know?
And the best part is the contract that the hire contract when she was hired on at Wade Corporation, she wrote, like she drew it up, signed it, got Wade Corporation to sign it, is ironclad. Like she even can't leave.
Well, she needs to wait until the resolution of the community center.
Right.
So now she's like, okay, fine, I'll stay on until that and then I'll hire my own replacement kind of thing.
Exactly. The whole company has a photo op at the build site near the community center and it goes well. And then and then George meets Lucy's parents who came to the photo op for Lucy. They head back to Lucy's parents' place for some cake and she brings him to the rooftop, which is her special place. You got to love when you bring somebody to a special place.
The love interest comes home, sees where your roots, sees where you get your abrasive attitude from. It's
from your
the parents
who are lawyers. Yeah. Later on that night, George is playing chess with his friend and bodyguard. I'm assuming it's his bodyguard. I just thought that. And he's offended because George is not really trying and is losing at the game of chess, and it's not fun for his friend. And then he finally tells him that he's lost Lucy and that he really has started to depend on her for basically everything and trust her completely. And you can kind of start to see maybe there are some like feelings more, but George just doesn't know it yet. The next day, George and Lucy interview new candidates, and the one woman that they interviewed, George says, "Great experience and congratulations on the baby," thinking that she is pregnant. She is not pregnant. Don't do that.
Never do that.
No, even if you don't know for sure, don't say anything.
Can I tell you one of my biggest fears as a parent? Once our son Wells realizes what a mommy with a baby looks like in her tummy, I'm so afraid that he's going to do that to a random woman. And I'm like, no, don't say that to everybody, son.
Oh my God.
Let's get out of here. That's a fear of mine. Yeah.
Is that a fear? Is that a nightmare recurring for you?
Just awkward social with a kid, because a kid adds a new layer of I can't control him. I don't know what he's going to say. He calls everybody mama now.
It's true. They did come up with the show Kids Say the Darndest Things, right? For a reason.
I'm a very planned out person. I like to know my environment. I like to be, the maker of my world. And now there's this kid calling random ladies mama at the park. How do I respond to that? I don't know. That's my rant of the day. Anyway.
Oh gosh. So after the interviews, they go for lunch, and they're like an old married couple. They eat off each other's plates, and they don't even notice how much they've depended on each other. I think Lucy doesn't even realize how much she needs George in her life. George takes her on his massive yacht. She gets drunk, and he tries to give her relationship advice. She talks about the twisty bobcat kind of pretzel, and that's what men want. And then she kisses George, even though she's too drunk to stand.
First kiss moment.
The first kiss moment. Not a good first kiss.
No, it was
a funny first kiss.
Yeah, it was comical. It was a little abrupt. It was sloppy.
Yeah. The next morning, Lucy asks George if they hooked up, and he obviously jokes with her. And he says, "Oh, yes, it was a magical night." Then we see a June Carver come into the office, and she tries to butter Lucy up. And she even quotes George from an interview, and it was all Lucy's words, of course. But June is hired anyway because June has also swooned George. George even went out for a drink with her after work, got her a hotel room where he stays or lives, and invited her to the company outing. At the company outing, the girls get very competitive during a tennis game, and George and June continue to hit it off, and Lucy is becoming obviously jealous. George and Lucy leave together, and Lucy realizes that she ate too much while she was there and has to go to the bathroom, and it's life or death. George tells her to go in the car, but I don't think he realizes that it's number 2, obviously. But they're stuck in traffic, so George runs Lucy to an RV that's parked up the road.
A hilarious way of problem solving. We're stuck on the interstate.
I will say he made a decision for himself.
He made his decision. He figured out where the nearest toilet would be. It's in a moving house.
Yes.
It's in an RV.
A moving house.
I have for you, Sarah.
Yeah.
According to Reddit, wildest, strangest, weirdest having to go to the washroom stories or going to the washroom stories.
Okay.
Or just things that are weird that have happened in a washroom. Starting with, this is a quick one actually. This person says, I saw a really drunk guy pull out his testicle at the urinal. He thought it was his penis. Obviously, he was very inebriated. And he proceeded to just pee down his whole leg.
No.
He shook his testicle, put it back in his pants, left the toilet. How drunk do you have to be?
Very.
To not that's my own anatomy, and I can tell you that's hard to mistake those two items.
I think for it would be the warmth going down the leg.
Wouldn't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
This person shares a story. I was a manager at KFC, and I regularly cleaned the restrooms thinking that if a manager does it, there's no excuse that anyone else couldn't do it. One night, one of the guys tells me the toilet in the men's room won't stop running. So we block off the room so that I can investigate. The toilet was the type that has a tank on top. So I pull the lid, and he saw there was a porno mag that somebody had stuffed into the tank of the toilet.
Okay.
Cue the horrified look. It kind of gets around the store who is going to the guy's washroom?
Doing that?
Yeah. Turns out it was none of the employees, and they found on some security camera that it was probably one of their regular customers who comes in.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. That's really gross because, like, go home.
It's a public restroom.
Do it
like,
at home.
Who's like, I'm gonna
No,
fire this
that's
off
so gross.
at my local KFC. That's exactly what gets me hot and bothered. Like, okay.
Ew. That's so gross.
This person says, I was chatting with my friend in the bathroom and started swinging the next door over, just swinging the stall door, like kind of absentmindedly while they were talking. This goes on for about 30 seconds. They're deep in conversation until I realize there was somebody in that stall. There was somebody in that stall who hadn't said a word. Like, imagine you're just going to the washroom and you hear two people talking, oh, whatever, and the one person opens the door and is just swinging it back and forth, and you're just trying to go. Unbelievable.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh. Oh my God.
Okay. This story is a little long, but this is a good one. Imagine a corporate building. There are people in suits, card-locked interior doors, even between the hallways, stuff like that. It's a very intense workplace to be at. So this person says, I get to this office and realize I need to have my second morning pee. I guess they have a morning pee. Then there's another one. So they say the bathroom is very busy, lots of suits everywhere. So I'm in line, actually, for the urinal. And finally, it's my turn. I step up, unzip, reach for my guy. And then I'm just reaching and I'm kind of fiddling and I can't find it. I can't reach. I'm wearing boxers. I've done this a million times before. Peeing at a urinal, it's not new to anybody. What is going on? I look down and I'm fiddling with my crotch a little bit more, and I start to get this eerie feeling that I'm being stared at by others in the bathroom. And then the guy next to me says, what are you doing? He makes the joke. He's like, 3 shakes and you're playing with yourself, buddy.
Oh, no.
And he's like, seconds feel like minutes. I'm standing there fiddling with my junk in this busy corporate bathroom. People are noticing. I'm starting to sweat with embarrassment. Finally, I give up trying to open up the boxers because he's trying to find like
no.
So he just pulls them down.
Oh. Oh, no.
Below and just pees.
Okay.
He's like, what I didn't realize after the fact is that I had just put my boxers on backwards.
There's no butthole.
There is a butthole. There's supposed to be a crotch hole, but there's a butthole. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Whole thing could have been avoided, obviously.
Oh my God.
Yeah, those are some. I would say there are much more crass ones, as you can imagine, from wildest washroom stories. I'm deciding to leave those off the table for you guys.
That is so funny.
Like, I mean, Lucy's story was pretty
that's hilarious.
Traumatic, one would think.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, yeah. They then take a helicopter to pick them up, and they both realize that her 2 weeks is almost over.
Dun, dun, dun.
They kind of have like a moment in the helicopter where they realize that like once she's done, like she's done with him. Like she never has to see him again if she doesn't want to.
And to be clear, they had to take a helicopter because her car was left on the interstates.
Yeah.
Because they had to go to the RV and then traffic started moving. So we had to get a helicopter out of there.
Yeah. So back in the office, June gets herself invited to the big ball that's coming. And this is the end of Lucy's 2 weeks. This ball fundraiser was going to be her last event that she would attend as a Wade Corporation employee. And of course, June gets herself invited to it. And you can totally tell that Lucy is jealous in this moment. On the way to the gala, George gets a call from his brother Howard saying that prices have skyrocketed and it's cheaper to bulldoze the community center that he had saved specifically for Lucy. And George is pissed about it, but his brother tells him that he needs to do it. They get to the gala and George goes to get some drinks and he looks across the way. This is a really cute moment. And sees Lucy in a gorgeous dress, all done up and is beautiful. She waves to George from across the way and he waves back and they share a moment and walk across to meet each other. June shows up, of course, and spills the beans on the tearing down of the community center. And Lucy and George get into an argument about it. After the gala, June finagles her way up to George's penthouse and they play strip chess. Lucy also heads up to the penthouse to talk to George about the community center, but finds June half naked and she starts to leave the penthouse, and it's awkward for all parties. Lucy leaves disappointed and she heads to her bestie's house and she gives Lucy a pep talk. At work, it's Lucy's farewell party. There's a few poems that are read, and then June comes to say her goodbyes. They talk, and she says something about Lucy has a stapler that's the company's, and so they say, oh, you know what, you can just keep it. It'll be our little secret. And then she's like, oh, I think I've earned it because I've worked 18-hour days, like 7 days a week for George. And June's like, wow, you're a workaholic. She's like, well, like those are the hours when you work for George. And Lucy goes, June says, oh, well, I'm really good at separating my work life and personal life. And
you were just trying to have sex with him last night.
Lucy goes, oh, really? Like that was a late night in your slip then? Like what was that? They start arguing about the stapler, but clearly they're arguing about George.
Yes.
George and Lucy also get into an argument about feelings and the community center.
So much happening in the last 20 minutes of this.
So much happens. Lucy, we find out, is living back with her parents, and her dad asks if she'll be going to the protests at the community center with him, and she says, no, you know what, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm done trying to change people when they won't change. So she also is going back to work at Legal Aid. And when Lucy goes downstairs to grab some files at work, George walks in, and Lucy doesn't want to hear from him.
George is here.
He wants to read her the most recent speech that he gave, and she won't hear it. So she won't read it. So he reads it to her, and it's his grand gesture.
This person, despite being unusually stubborn and unwilling to compromise and a very poor dresser, she's rather like the building she loves so much. A little rough around the edges, but when you look closely, absolutely beautiful. And the only one of her kind. And even though I've said cruel things and driven her away, she's become the voice in my head, and I can't seem to drown her out.
George then asks, what do you think? And she says, I have to get back to work. And George leaves the building. Lucy then realizes, like, oh my God, what am I doing? I have to go after him, runs to find him. She starts telling him, thank you for saving the community center. And she tells him she wants to change and, not be so rough around the edges. And then, he shuts her up by telling her that he's in love with her. And she tells him that she's in love with him. And then this is the real kiss.
A beautiful end to this movie. I mean, you gotta have the perfect grand romantic gesture to kind of tie it all in a beautiful little bow. And man, something about Hugh Grant's. Does he have some of the most iconic grand romantic gestures? I mean, I'm thinking of Notting Hill. He doesn't say it, but Julia Roberts says to him, I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to love her.
I mean, does he choose movies that are like well for him? Like, and is the writing just really well done for him? Like his characters or the characters that are supporting? Like I would say the chemistry for this movie, 5.
5.
Right?
So I actually read a thing about Mark Lawrence, the director, saying he wanted a movie with Hugh Grant that was a big change from his character in Notting Hill, but not as dislikable as Diary. Bridget
Jones's Diary, yeah.
Because he's really like the douchey love interest in that movie. Yeah. He wanted somebody a little bit more likable, but kind of in the same vein as that character.
Right. Yeah, I think just like scripts are well written for him, like not because it's Hugh Grant, but I just find the delivery that he's able to create from what he's given, from direction. I just think maybe he doesn't even take direction. I don't know. I should ask him whenever I talk to him next.
It's a Hugh Grant movie. I'm just gonna do it.
He just does it really well, and I think the chemistry between Sandra Bullock. I mean, this is kind of my honorable mention, to be honest, but just the chemistry between the two, I thought it was really well done. And I thought it was effortless, actually. Like, I watched it as if, like, I never once thought, like, oh, they shouldn't end up together, or like, oh, June should be with George. I mean, he's kind of a womanizer, but it so quickly changed that he relied independent and trusted Lucy in this movie so quickly. And it was just really effortless for me anyway.
Quick facts.
Hugh Grant said that Sandra Bullock was his favorite person to work with throughout his career and developed a friendship during filming this movie. The film was originally set to be shot entirely in Toronto due to cheaper production costs, but producer star Sandra Bullock insisted that a film about New York City must be made in New York City. It ended up being shot entirely on location within a 17-week span. The film revitalized the economy of New York City after 9/11 and allowed businesses to flourish once again. In honor of the cast and crew's contribution to the city, it is said that December 11th, 2002 was named 2 weeks notice day by the mayor of New York City. I did check this out. I couldn't quite find anything on it, but if any of you know, let us know if this is real.
That, by the way, is your favorite show, Jack Reacher. Is that?
I mean, it's not my favorite show. I do really like it, though.
The star of that show has joked because they're like, hey, like, what are you going to do for next season? And what are you going to do? And where are you going to be filming? And he made the joke. He's like, dude, we're just going to be filming in Toronto. It could be Brazil. It could be New York City. It could be LA. We're going to be filming it in Toronto, though, because they get all those like subsidies and stuff.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
What does it matter? We're shooting in Toronto. Who cares? It could be Berlin, and we're going to be shooting in Toronto. It could be the Sahara Desert. It could be a book about the Sahara Desert. We'll be in Hamilton making 5% credits. We announced it yet?
Opening credits song Baby You've Got What It Takes, 2 Weeks Notice remix with harmonica accompaniment by Blind Lemon Lipstick Jr. is actually director Mark Lawrence playing the harmonica.
I understood about 40% of the words you just said. What was the name of the one person?
Blind Lemon Lipstick Jr. Yeah, you're welcome. The Coney Island Community Center is in fact the Child's Restaurant building that went out of business years ago. It was designated a New York City landmark on February 4th, 2003, just 1 month after the movie was released. During the traffic jam and trailer scene, one of the men in the Poland Springs truck behind the RV is Sandra Bullock's real-life brother-in-law, according to Miss Bullock on the DVD commentary. Lucy orders Chinese food from a man, Mr. Wong, in the movie While You Were Sleeping, which also stars Sandra Bullock. Her character, who is also named Lucy, says, "You order $10 worth of chow mein from Mr. Wong and they bring it to your door." The building Sandra Bullock's character and her two companions were trying to save at the start of the film was once a theater and now a church, located on 175 Street and Broadway in New York City. The building was also used to shoot the Indian palace scene in the movie The Guru from 2002. Scenes for the movie were shot at Shea Stadium on May 9th, 2002, between innings of the Giants and versus Mets game, and the crowd was filmed booing. Hugh Grant and Sandra Bullock attended the game and shot a scene with Mike Piazza of the Mets after the game. This is the second film Heather Burns has acted alongside Sandra Bullock, the first, of course, being Miss Congeniality in 2000. Then they went on to act together again for a third time in the movie Miss Congeniality 2, Armed and Fabulous in 2005. As of 2018, Hugh Grant starred in all 4 features directed by Mark Lawrence. This one is the first. Grant plays a romantically involved character in all of the films and is paired with a different actress or each time. The house George's brother lives in is actually one of Donald Trump's homes. Trump lent his Westchester home to the production and shot a cameo for the movie. George's tie is tied with a single loop, making it crooked. This is a mistake made by some 98% of men, but such an upper-class fellow as George would most definitely know better. By wrapping it properly, tying, of course, a double Windsor knot, the knot would have been made perfectly balanced triangle.
Now I'm picturing how I do my ties. I think I do a double Windsor. Wow.
British author Lynn Truss pointed out that the title of the film is grammatically incorrect. In her best-selling style book, Eats, Shoots, and Leaves, The Zero-Tolerance Approach to Punctuation, she correctly establishes that the title is missing an apostrophe, 2 weeks, apostrophe notice, thereby denoting proper possession of the title's subject. The original hardcover edition of Eats, Shoots, and Leaves also featured Truss in her author's photograph or photo, glaring at the poster and holding a marker where the apostrophe should be. In the establishing shot for the wedding scene, it is daylight as the camera pans down the church steeple. When Lucy leaves the church a few minutes later after receiving the text from George, it is completely dark outside. Jason Antoon, I hope I'm saying that right, who plays Norman, worked with Hugh Grant in Music and Lyrics from 2007 as well. He is now in NCIS Hawaii, if you wanted to know.
Because you're up on the... Did you just know that, or did you look it up?
I watched the first half of the season of NCIS Hawaii.
First half of a season.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Sandra Bullock almost worked with another actor called Hugh, but she turned it down. The actor was Hugh Jackman, and the film was Kate and Leopold from 2001. The hair caught in the fly gag was also used in the movie The Man with One Red Shoe from 1985. When Lucy and George are on her apartment's rooftop eating cake, she describes her childhood past of watching the neighbors sitting on the corners watching the kids play. She mentions a Mr. and Mrs. Goldfarb sitting in the middle of the street to save a parking spot for their kid. This is a small nod towards Requiem for a Dream. Why can't I say that word right now? Requiem.
It feels like one of those words that the more you say it, the weirder
I know.
it's...
Requiem for a Dream from 2000, where a Mrs. Goldfarb sits on the neighbor's corner or the neighborhood corner in lawn chairs with her apartment neighbors.
The entire rest of the pod, Sarah's going to have that running through her mind, trying to figure out if she actually said Requiem right.
Requiem. Like, I can say the word. I just don't know why I couldn't say it there. Anyway, Nora Jones plays herself in this movie as when she's singing. So that was pretty cool.
Honorable mentions, which Sarah has already done hers. My honorable mention is a little bit different. So this is one of the few movies where the core concept is about quitting your job.
Yeah.
That's it. When you really boil it down, there's love, there's intrigue, there's all these pieces moving around. Lucy just wants to quit. So I've found for you some of the most creative and hilarious ways people have quit their jobs. Starting with this person who gave their boss a letter. It says, "Sorry for your loss." It's me. I'm the loss. And then my last day will be July 9th, 2021.
That's amazing. Yeah. I love that.
There are actually a lot of cards on this because another person made a card saying this is a drawing of a dinosaur, and it's actually a really very nice drawing of a dinosaur. It's also my 2 weeks notice. That's it. That's all they write on it. This card says, "I'm leaving you. It's not you. It's me." And then they cross that out and then they say, "It's you. It's not me. You don't pay me enough. This is my 2 weeks notice."
I like that. Oh, creative.
Somebody at a wet seal, like just a store, put on the where a customer would be served, saying, "I was attacked at work by a drunk employee and my boss won't fire him because he's too lazy to work the open shift. So ... I quit. Somebody will probably be with you shortly. Have a great day."
Oh my God.
Love that. And then my all-time favorite. This happened on a highway. I can't tell where it is. It's somewhere in North America, but it says exit 329 closed. Sucks to be you, but I got fired today. So don't expect any help. And that's like the actual message on
the actual thing.
The interstate. Yeah, exactly. Or the highway, whatever it might be.
Oh my God. Way to leave your legacy.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd do that if I was quitting one of those jobs, where you can change a sign. What should have been?
I don't have a what should have been this week.
My what should have been, I was thinking about June, and maybe, you know what, Sarah is we should actually have a podcast with you and just shows that are happening right now, shows that are ongoing. When did Queer Eye, the newest season, come out?
Oh, not long ago, season 8. It's in New Orleans.
How many days ago, and how long did it take you to binge it?
It took me 2 days, 3 days, 3 days, 3 days.
Unbelievable.
3 days. So
Sarah.
good.
Hey, I'm
There's 8 seasons.
I'm using this as a skill for you because I think our girl June could easily, seamlessly be in the same universe as the show Suits.
Oh, yes. I mean, they already had a redhead, so...
Well, they had a redhead who's not a lawyer. She was an assistant, right?
Correct.
So we have June come in here.
Yeah.
Harvey Specter, maybe not. Is there anybody else in the universe who you're June... Because does Harvey end up with what's her name? Donna?
Donna, yes.
See, look at me. I know a few things.
Yes.
Does he end up with
Sorry,
Donna?
I just know the actress, Sarah, who plays Donna. But yeah, I don't know her personally, but I know,
Yeah,
I keep thinking, I mean, I would love to know her.
Humble brag
but
there.
No. Her name's Sarah, so I always remember her actual name. Oh gosh, that's a tough one. You know what though? Even if she didn't end up with anyone in the Suits world, I could see her being in the Suits world. She would fit in with the show.
She should have been in the show Suits. That's my what should have been. Overall rewatchability.
Okay, so my rewatchability is Chemistry 5, Storyline 4.3, Thirst Factor 4.2, Imagination 4.1, Soundtrack 4, Cheese 4 for an overall score of 4.26.
Okay, you're a little higher than me, which is okay. Like we talked about, 4 is getting into the like truly great territory. 4.5 and up is like iconic. I've got a chemistry 4.2, storyline of 3.7, thirst factor of 4.2. Imagination I'm so conflicted on because
I know.
I feel like the core concept is kind of unique.
Yes.
But a lot of the beats they go through in the movie is like, okay, this is
a rom-com.
Typical rom-com stuff.
Yes, I know, me too.
So Imagination, I've got a 4.21. It would have been higher just on the general basis and theme of the movie, if that makes sense.
I was along the same lines.
Yeah, soundtrack, a 4. Like you talked about, solid soundtrack. Cheese, though, 3.1. That gives me an overall score. Yeah, because I thought it was a little cheesy at times. Not the good kind. 3.901 is my score for 2 weeks' notice.
Thanks for listening.